Breaking in a new stamp set is always fun, but what if you're overwhelmed because there are too many possibilities and you don't know where to start? Try this card sketch that saves me every time. Hi, I'm Anna, the creative mind behind Anna van Lossie Paper Crafts. If you're a busy crafter and love sweet and simple stamping, you're in the right place. So the Thankful Garden stamp set by Stampin' Up actually comes with two large flowers, and this card that I'm showing you in this tutorial, you can actually use either one of them. The design still works. I'll be using the hydrangea, so I have mounted my stamp here already, and as you can see, they're pretty large stamps, so I'm using block E that would fit both of the large flowers. And then I just need a few supplies. I have my basic white thick card base as usual. We're gonna put that aside for now. And then I have a piece here that is just 4 by 5 1/4 of regular basic white cardstock. And I'll need some scrap paper here on my mat because we'll be stamping off a little bit. And then I have Lost Lagoon. That's my ink pad I want to use here. So I'll move that to the side because when I'm using these larger stamps, I actually like to put my block down on the table on my work surface and then ink it up this way. So we'll be stamping that here. And you don't need to write down, I mean, the measurements for this card are super simple, but I'll have them in the video description as always. So I'll stamp that right here. And we'll do another one. So just inking that up. And I'll move this up a little bit. And I'll stamp it at a different angle down here. It's almost like creating my own designer series paper. And I'll stamp one more down here. Oh, let's see. I don't want to get all that ink on my Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay, so down there. And if you wanted to, you could ink up this leaf here. Just a little bit, so you don't have to ink up the whole stamp because we're only using that leaf. And let's see, can I get it here on an angle just so I have a little bit of extra image up there. Perfect. All right, so let's put that aside and we're going to let that dry. That's a lot of ink on there, so I'll put that aside for a second. And while I have my Lost Lagoon here, I'm bringing in a basic white circle here stamped, die cut with the stylus shapes. I'm about to stamp on here. So I have this leaf that is also in the stamp set. And I'm going to, oh, I do need my scrap paper because we're going to stamp off. I was just hoping not to irritate you too much now with those large images. So I'm inking that up again in the Lost Lagoon, stamping it off once. And I'm going to stamp it on my circle right in the middle. Okay, so I have a lighter shade of the Lost Lagoon. I can close that now and bring in my darker color, which is the Pretty Peacock. Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon is by far one of my favorite color combinations when I do tone on tone. And then I have this stamp here that says, it has an ampersand at the front and like end thanks. My guess is it's supposed to be stamped with the with love and thanks, and I've done some cards like that. So, but if you only want the little things, then here's my little tip, perfect also for beginners. Use the edge of your ink pad, this one, not the one with the nudge for your fingers to open and close your ink pad, because then you have a perfect edge there to just ink up. Of course, this only works with the photopolymer stamps, so you can see where you ink it up. So I have a little bit of reflection going on here, so give me a second. So, and if you're not sure, you could tape this off, you could cut the stamp apart if you want to. So I just inked up my thanks there, and now I'm going to stamp that over my leaf here. Okay, of course it's going to stick. Okay, there we go. And let me just close my ink pads here just so I can get that out of the way. And let's put our card together. So, oops. So I'm bringing in my card base here. Then I have my stamped layer. And let's see here. Bringing in some Stampin' Seal. Just running that across. So I'm just going that down to my card base. If you prefer, you can pop it up with dimensionals, but really I want to keep this card quick and easy. Okay, there we go. Then I have a larger circle die cut here that I'm going to layer behind my sentiment layer here. That is die cut also with the Stylish Shapes dies from Pretty Peacock. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue that I have here in this smaller applicator bottle. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, then I have a piece of Lost Lagoon. Let's check how long is this piece. I can use my paper here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches roundabout. I'm going to put a little bit of Stampin' Seal down here. And I'm going to just fold it into a loop. If you want to, you can tie a bow. Again, just want to keep it sweet and simple. Okay. And then I'm bringing in some small dimensionals or mini dimensionals. And I'm just going to, let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. Does that work with my circle? Yeah. Okay. You just want to make sure that you don't spread them too far apart, your dimensionals, because then they're going to peek through from behind your little circle. Let's get the backings off. Oh, that one's sticking. Doesn't want to come off. And then I'm just placing my sentiment right there at the top. And that's really all there is to this card, but I just love it. It's one of my favorite card sketches because it's so sweet and simple and so easy to make, especially if you have large images that, you know, basically were meant to be colored. But I think this is a gorgeous card, even with just using the outline images without any coloring. And then just do a little bit of, you know, background stamping here, so to speak, with using a stamped off image in a lighter shade and then stamping your sentiment in a darker coordinating tone on top of it. Here are some more quick and easy card ideas. I see you in the next video.